Fiddle and mandolin players, if you want to learn the sound of the 5 and the 5 dominant 7th chord, watch this video. Hello, I'm Pete Martin. If you would like to see more videos in this series or other videos of mandolin, fiddle, improvisation, and other music subjects, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. If you like the video, please click like. There's a PDF file that goes with this video. Find this by going to petemartin.info, click videos, and scroll down to find music theory for fiddle and mandolin. Players interested in improvisation should check out two series I am doing. Improv from Scratch is for non-jazz players who want to learn to improvise or who want to learn to improve their improvisation. Jazz players should check out the Barry Harris for Jazz Mandolin series. Find these by going to petemartin.info, click videos, and scroll down. In video number 6, we looked at what chords occur in a key. We discovered that in the key of G, the 5 chord was the D major chord. If you don't remember that, please go and review video 6 now. In this video, we're going to take a deeper dive into the subject of the 5 chord in a key. If we take the notes of the G major scale, start on D, and play every other note for a total of 3 notes, we have D, F sharp, and A. We saw this in video number 6, but let's see it again here in example 1. Notice the 3-note chord is the D major chord. Now let's look at something new. If we take the notes of the G major scale, start on D, and play every other note, this time for a total of 4 notes, we get the notes D, F sharp, A, and C. See this in example 2. The chord sound we hear in example 2 is the D7 chord. Listen to the sound of the D major chord and then the sound of the D7 chord. Fiddle and violin players play the notes individually and listen to example 3 on the mandolin to hear the chord. Do this many times. See if you can hear the difference between D and D7. This is example 3. D major, D7. If you find the information in this video useful, I ask that you consider supporting my channel through my Patreon page, which is www.patreon.com/PeteMartin. For about the price of a cup of coffee, or $3 a month, you support the making of videos, instruction articles, transcriptions for fiddle and mandolin, and improvising. Thank you for considering this. Can you hear the sound difference between a D and a D7 chord? Listen again and play example 3 many more times if you need it. If you play a chording instrument, play a D major chord and then a D7 chord many times. Play them 1 note at a time and then all the notes together. Do you hear the difference? Can you put into words the sound difference you hear? Musicians use the term resolved and unresolved to describe these sounds. The D major chord seems content and stable with its own sound. It's resolved. The D7 chord seems unsteady and wants to go somewhere else. It's unresolved. Listen to example 3 again and see if you can hear this. So what is the difference between these chords? There's a C note in the D7 chord that is not present in the D chord. The C note interacts with the F sharp note to make the sound unstable. See this and play this many times in example 4. The role of the 5 chord in music is to be an unresolved sound that resolves to something, which we will look at in the next video. The 5 takes on the unresolved role of the 5 dominant 7, whether we play a 5 or the 5-7. It still wants to resolve. Let's test this out. Listen to example 5. Mandolin players play this example many times as well. Make sure you stop after the last D chord. Fiddle and violin players listen to it many times and play it on a chording instrument if you can play a chording instrument. Do you notice something kind of odd about the sound of stopping on the D chord? Now listen and play example 6. Does it sound better to you than example 5? My website, petemartin.info, has videos, instruction articles, transcriptions, information about mandolin and fiddle lessons, plus 13 instruction books I've written for mandolin, fiddle, and improvising, one of which is Easy Music Theory for Fiddle and Mandolin. Be sure to check it out. Can you tell that example 6 sounds more musically complete than example 5? Listen to both several more times. Now listen to and play example 7 several times and see what your reaction is. Make sure you stop on the D7 chord. Now listen to and play example 8 several times and see what your reaction is. Most folks will say example 8 sounds more logical to them than example 7. If you don't hear it this way, keep listening to examples 7 and 8. Once you begin to hear the logic, you will also probably notice that example 6 sounds more complete than example 5. Listen to those as well. The D chord is the 5 chord in the key of G, where the G is the major chord is 1. D7 is the 5-7 in the key of G. As we will see in the next video, the 5 chord or 5-7 resolve to the 1 chord. What this means is both chords have the same function, and the 5 implies 5 dominant 7. We will look at why this happens in video 8. If you have questions or suggestions, please use the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, and click like if you feel so inclined. Also check out my website and Patreon page, the links of which are on screen and below. I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.